which is the owner of the property. So Paul Varela had the museum built in 1994, and then it went through a succession of different directors, on and on. And when we were asked to work there, I saw an opportunity to really make a statement. You know, if you know my history, I've always been political and militant, not by necessity.
Right.
So I felt like it was an opportunity to make a statement and say, look, these people are still here, and we need to show their history as best we can, or as much as we know. And so I'm always open, you know, if I make mistakes, then I want to be corrected, because I want to present these people, just like I've done with every other tribe. To me, all tribes are equal, and they deserve the respect that, you know, and I give them that respect. I try to work with the tribes as closely as possible, which has been a problem in this case.
Yes.
Because just recently I've discovered that there really is no one Chumash tribe. And so we have a lot of different opinions. But I listen to them all, you know, and then I have to kind of figure out what's what from everything I have. So it's a very delicate, sometimes I feel like I'm walking a tightrope, because you want to do the right thing, you don't want to insult people, and you want to listen to everybody, but you know, eventually have to weed out certain things because they just don't feel right. You know? Do
you have an advisory council that you consult for some of these items?
Basically, no. I wish there was, but you cannot, unfortunately, get consensus from the Chumash people, you know.
Right.
For reasons that I'm not really fully aware of, because I do not like to get myself involved in tribal politics. Each tribe is a sovereign nation and deserves to take care of their business on their own. I'm a very firm believer in tribal sovereignty. So as an outsider, I don't like to interfere. But I wish that, you know, tribes would come together for the benefit of the people and not be so involved in their own personal interests. You know, this museum could be a statement for the Chumash. And what appears to be happening is it becomes more of a battleground. And that's not the way it should be. You know, the people have to put aside petty differences to come together for the main important thing, and that is to explain who the Chumash are and that they are still here. See, that's more important.
Exactly. You know, here in Santa Barbara, the Museum of Natural History, we have the Santa Barbara Mission, we have UCSB. These have all really been agencies of institutional genocide. And basically, they're looked to determine the authenticity of the claim to Chumash heritage. Have you been addressed at all in dealing with the community and really, I guess, been asked to determine who is an authentic Chumash person in dealing with, you know, the politics, because you are working in the Native community?
Repeatedly. And what I try to tell people is it's not my place to tell the Chumash people who they are. And it's definitely not the place of some outsider to tell the Chumash people who they are. Only the people can determine who they are. And you know, when I hear about that this person is saying that this one is and isn't, I don't want to be involved in that, because that's really not what it's all about. You know, you know, when people come to me and tell me they're Chumash, I just say, okay, and go along with it. I don't ask for tribal cards, enrollment cards, or DNA evidence, because that's not what I want to do. I want the people to come together and tell their own story. I'm just giving them that opportunity.
Right.
You know, and that's basically what it's all about, you know. And I would love for a person of Chumash ancestry to go in there and run that museum. It's just, you know, there's so much info. Whoever does it, you know, is attacked by everybody else.
Exactly.
You know, I'm basically like everything else, a caretaker there. You know, all I want to do is take care of it until, you know, it goes to where it's supposed to go. To be honest, as a Native person myself, I go in there and I look at things way different than everybody else does, and that gets me in trouble, because I've had, you know, run-ins with boards, I've had run-ins with the actual owners of the property, And I tell them, I said, look, I can't do things in like a board and all by the rules. I can't do that. I have to do it with my feelings towards my own people. And that has to enter into the picture. And I think that's what's been missing all along. You know, so that's how I do it. You know, I have to look at that. Okay, when I first came to the Chumash Indian Museum, I went to the back, and I had no idea there was burials there, but I felt there was something calling me towards the back of the property. And I was at a spot where I could hear voices, and the voices were talking to me, so I talked back, and I asked questions. I know people are going to say, well, you know, he's losing his mind, he's old. You know. But I believe in these things, and I asked permission to be there. I said, you know, if I'm not supposed to be here, let me know, you know, because these are the people who have been here. And the answer I got was that I was supposed to be there. So that's, you know, and I've fought hard, battle after battle, you know, to make that place into something that Chumash people can be proud of, you know. I'm going to walk away because, you know, eventually I'm leaving. I hope not too soon. I don't mean leaving the museum, but leaving this earth. Right. And I want to leave something that, you know, that lives on, that keeps going, that benefits the Chumash people, you know, who have been so disrespected, you know, as a lot of California tribes have been.
Yes, and the Chumash people, the territory is so large. The only federally recognized tribe would be the San Ynez tribe.
Right.
They do have their own land. So the rest of the Chumash community don't have a tribal land base. So in my visit there, I see opportunity for gatherings,
oh,
a lot of opportunity for people to be involved.
See, I've put out the word. I want Chumash people to come there and to dance there and
yes.
to perform there, not for my benefit or not for the white people's benefit, but for their own benefit. You know, we are in the process of putting a sweat lodge together that I want the community to use. You know, the Chumash community. I want this place to be a place where all Chumash can come and gather like they used to, mm-hmm. in harmony, and not with all this, you know, infighting and all that. I don't mean to say that, you know, the Chumash are the only tribe that is having this problem, because I see this all around. You know, I deal with so many different tribes, and it really hurts me that our people cannot come together. You know, and to me, as a traditional person and as a Native person, I think that we need to remember the old ways. You know, people always talking about tradition. Well, traditionally, we used to get along. You know, there was no war in almost all of the California tribes. There is no warrior society because there was no wars. And now we're fighting all the time over silliness, you know, and we're failing to see the importance of coming together. For example, you know, I have been on the Leonard Peltier Defense Committee for I don't know how long, working yes. with, you know, Ben Carnes, David Hill, Wombly out of Texas. We've been fighting to free Leonard Peltier. We can't even come together on that. And everybody says, well, you know, I don't want to get involved because it's an AIM thing, it's a this thing, it's a that. No, it's a Native issue. You know, if he can be imprisoned falsely, any one of us can. And we don't
That's
come
right. together
together for the big issues. We need to come together for the big issues, resolve the big issues, and then move on down the line. You know, an incident that just happened, you know, Jessica Simpson insults our people, and I have a huge MySpace friends list, and so I put out a bulletin that we have to address this. And next thing you know, she's claiming 1/16 Cherokee and apologizing all over the place for a stupid statement that she made. It was racist and insulting to our people. We cannot put up with, you know, people say, why did you take time out of the Leonard Peltier thing to address that issue? Because every issue is important and they're all connected.
Right. And, you know, the point, too, is that she has such a national viewing from her, you know, her fan base. Allowing those type of statements to be said without being addressed looks like we're okay with it.
We have
to stop
a
it somewhere.
If you don't speak out, you endorse it. And if
yes.
you endorse it, then what happens to our people is our own fault. And I'm not going to endorse it. You know, people who know me, they say, wow, you jump on every little thing. Yep, I sure do. I jumped on the Larry the Cable Guy insult, when he called our women squaws. I was very upset about